Many world leaders vow to keep up the fight against global warming and urge President Trump to do the same. They're reaffirming their commitment to the Paris Agreement. Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby joins us from the State Department. Good evening, Wyatt.
Good evening, Lauren. Some of America's closest allies say they're worried the U.S. will abandon all efforts to fight climate change and create a rift among those who have signed on to the agreement.
In Berlin today, German Chancellor Angela Merkel praising China's commitment to fight global warming. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang, who was in Berlin for a visit, said protecting the environment is an international responsibility, a seeming slight to President Trump's plan to withdraw from the Paris Agreement.
For Europe, it is planet first.
Others, like at the European Union, are more explicit in their criticism of the president's decision. European Council President Donald Tusk tweeting, "Please don't change the political climate for the worse," while British Prime Minister Theresa May reaffirms her country's commitment to the climate deal.
And it was only at the G7 last week that I was making clear to President Trump, as were other leaders sitting around that table, the importance we attach to the Paris Agreement.
Boris Johnson, the UK's Foreign Secretary, says individual U.S. states have shown leadership in bringing down CO2 emissions.
I continue to lobby the U.S. At all levels to continue to take climate change extremely seriously and to show the leadership that America has shown in the past.
David Kreutzer with the Heritage Foundation pushes back against the critics. He says the president did consider his international partners, but believes the Paris Agreement is a job killer that will have no impact on climate change.
I think he clearly wanted to do it, has wanted to do it, but wanted to listen to other people and make it clear that he wasn't doing it without listening to them.
Kreutzer is also critical of China's vowing to fight climate change. He says China is the biggest emitter of CO2 right now, and he says they haven't made any major changes or make no plans to make major changes until 2030. Lauren?
Wyatt, is President Trump's decision to pull out of the Paris Agreement likely to impact other countries' push for clean energy?
No, Lauren, it's not likely, which is why some have been critical of the Paris Agreement. Around the world, countries are moving away from coal-fired power plants specifically and closer to wind and solar energy. And here in the U.S., individual states and companies are likely to continue to do the same. Lauren?
Wyatt Goolsby reporting from the State Department. Thank you, Wyatt.